Prepare yourselves for a chilling expedition through the hidden corners of Pennsylvania, where history and horror converge to create a tapestry of spine-tingling tales. In this gripping journey, we'll venture into the darkest corners of the state, where restless spirits and eerie legends await our discovery. Pennsylvania is one of the oldest states, and it is also one of the most fascinating. It has a somewhat creepy past that is peppered with traumatic events, murders, and tragic accidents. There are also several abandoned prisons and asylums, making it the perfect setting for some paranormal activity. Let's dig a little bit deeper into the history of the most haunted places in Pennsylvania. 10. Penhurst State School and Hospital, Spring City. Penhurst State School and Hospital. Spring City Penhurst State School was in operation for around 50 years during the first half of the 20th century. It was cut off from the rest of the world, and it very quickly became overcrowded and out of control. The brutal mistreatment of the mentally ill patients housed here eventually led to its closure, but not before numerous deaths which have left a mark on the building. Today, it is one of the most haunted places in the entire state of Pennsylvania. Visitors have reported all manner of strange noises and apparitions believed to be the spirits of former patients and employees alike. 9. Centralia, Columbia County, Centralia. Columbia County. If Centralia looks familiar to you, then it is probably because it was used as the inspiration for the town of Silent Hill in the horror movie of the same name. This real-life ghost town has had an underground coal fire burning for more than 50 years. The population has dwindled to less than 10 people who refuse to leave. Aside from being super creepy due to the nature of the town's abandonment, there have also been stories of strange shadow figures and apparitions flitting around the abandoned buildings. 8. Hillview Manor, Newcastle. Considered by many an avid ghost hunter, Hillview Manor in Newcastle, Pennsylvania, is without a doubt one of the most haunted buildings they've ever had the pleasure of investigating. A location that has played host to many paranormal TV shows, such as Ghost Hunters, Ghost Lab, and Ghost Adventures. Originally built in 1926 as a home for the elderly, it would operate as such up until 2004, when the building was closed due to lack of funding. Once a home for the elderly, it's believed thousands of people would have died there over the years. Many deaths down to natural causes, however, there were a number of suicides as well. 7. The Quality Inn, Gettysburg. The Quality Inn in Gettysburg was originally built in 1863 to serve as General Lee's headquarters during the Civil War. Over the years, there have been hundreds of reports of ghostly activity from both guests and employees. Some of the most common occurrences include the sound of a drum and fife playing, phantom gunshots and cannon fire, and the sound of someone walking in the attic. There are also regular reports of doors being opened and closed by some unseen force, lights turning on and off, and a few objects apparently moving by themselves. 6. Betsy Ross House, Philadelphia. Betsy Ross House, Philadelphia. Everyone knows Betsy Ross for being the person who designed the first American flag, but people are visiting her Philadelphia home for something a little bit more than a history lesson. You see, this is also one of the most haunted houses in Pennsylvania. The house has been featured on various television shows thanks to the paranormal activity. In fact, this house is so haunted that one former director climbed out of the window and jumped onto the flagpole to escape the spirits on one particularly terrifying night. Some visitors have reported seeing Betsy Ross herself crying in the basement, while others say that they have heard cries and moans from the gift shop next door, which also happens to be where a security guard was murdered in 1980. 5. Fort Mifflin, Philadelphia. Fort Mifflin, Philadelphia. Another historical site in Pennsylvania that is apparently haunted is Philadelphia's Fort Mifflin. So many historical sites around the state have been remodeled, but Fort Mifflin claims to be the only Revolutionary War battlefield that has remained completely intact. Perhaps that is why some of the fort's original inhabitants have stuck around. One of the ghosts that is known to haunt Fort Mifflin is the screaming woman who is believed to be the spirit of Elizabeth Pratt. Her screams are often heard in the officers' quarters, where it is believed that she hanged herself. The fort is also home to another spirit known as the Faceless Man. It is believed that this is the ghost of William Howe, and he is often seen around the casements where the prisoners would have been held. Visitors have also reported being grabbed, pushed, and held by unseen hands. 4. Brandywine Battlefield, Chester County, Pennsylvania is well known for the Battle of Gettysburg, but there is another famous battlefield in the state which is often overlooked. The Brandywine Battlefield is an important historical site in terms of the Revolutionary War, and it is also one of the most haunted locations in Pennsylvania. Around 2,000 men died here on what was the bloodiest day of the Revolutionary War, and visitors say that they can still hear the battle echoing around the area. There have also been multiple sightings of apparitions of soldiers and horses. 3. The Seven Gates of Hell, York. This desolate area in York was apparently where an old asylum once stood, but it is said to have burned to the ground because firefighters were unable to reach the remote area in time. Almost all the patients perished in the fire. 7 gates were built to help capture the remaining patients who had escaped. However, since then, a local legend has sprung up stating that anyone who passes through all 7 of the gates will go straight to hell. Hotel Bethlehem is one of the most haunted hotels in PA, and it is probably of the state's most popular spots for ghost hunting. The building was once the very first house in Bethlehem before being transformed into a hotel. It is said that there are at least 4 ghosts to be found here, all of which have strong historical ties to the hotel. The first of these ghosts is said to be actor/singer May Yo, who was born in the hotel. She has been heard singing in the lobby, and guests have seen her apparition in the exercise room from time to time. 2. Harrisburg Hospital, Harrisburg. Harrisburg Hospital, Harrisburg. When Harrisburg Hospital first opened back in 1851, it was known as Pennsylvania State Lunatic Hospital. The huge institution continued operating as a psychiatric facility, treating the mentally ill until 2006. Ever since the hospital closed, there has been an increasing number of reports of paranormal activity that have contributed to the building's reputation as one of the most haunted hospitals in Pennsylvania. There have been strange noises, screaming, footsteps, shadows, and apparitions. It is especially haunted in the morgue, the basement, and the underground tunnels. 1. The Old Jail Museum, Jim Thorpe. Located at the edge of the Pocono Mountain, the Old Jail Museum in Jim Thorpe, formerly the Carbon County Prison, was built in 1871 and served as the county prison until 1995. It is an imposing structure built into the side of a rocky mountain and is now open to the public as a museum. It is also home to a famous ghost story regarding what has become known as the Day of the Rope. On June 21, 1877, 4 Irish coal miners accused of being Molly Maguires were hanged in the old jail at one time as punishment for fighting for better treatment and working conditions. The leader of the group, Alexander Campbell, placed his hand on the wall of cell 17 and swore that his handprint would remain as proof of his innocence. True to his word, the handprint still remains visible on the wall. Over the years, it has been scrubbed clean, painted over, and the wall has even been demolished and rebuilt, yet that mark attesting to Alexander Campbell's innocence still remains. Another of the ghosts is Francis Daddy Thomas, who worked in Bethlehem as a tour guide prior to his death in 1822. Finally, the remaining 2 ghosts are the building's original landlords, Mr. and Mrs. Brong. Much of the activity seems to be focused on room 932, where people see lights going on and off, apparitions in the mirror, and a male spirit who wakes guests in the night asking why they are in his room. As we conclude our bone-chilling tour of the scariest places in Pennsylvania, remember to subscribe and hit the notification bell, ensuring you won't miss out on our future explorations into the mysterious and the macabre. Until next time, keep your lanterns lit and your courage unyielding in the face of the unknown.